As you've probably seen from the video title, I'm going to be ranking all of the worlds in Wizard 101. We're going to go in order, starting with Wizard City. I think Wizard City is an A tier world. It's iconic. It's the beginning of every wizard's journey. I like Wizard City. I know they updated it and the new player experience is different. Some people don't like it. Some people do like it. But I think the essence of Wizard City and it being so iconic deserves an A spot. Next up, we got Krokotopia. I personally, this may be a controversial opinion, but I love Krokotopia. I think the ancient Egyptian theme is so cool. I think the bosses are cool. Some of the streets can be a little repetitive, but I think overall, I just love the theme of Krokotopia. I love the fire, ice, and storm areas. I think it's just really cool. So next up, we got Marleybone. Marleybone I'm not too big on. I'm gonna put it in B tier. I think it's a fun world and I like the vibe of it, but it's a little bit short and it just doesn't really seem all that important. And I don't know, I'm just not a huge fan of Marleybone, so I'm gonna put it in B tier. Next up we got Mushu. I think I'm gonna put it in A tier. I like the Arc 1 worlds, guys. I think the Arc 1 worlds are iconic and they're nostalgic. Mushu, I think the same thing with Krokotopia. I think Mushu gets very repetitive actually, and it drags on more than Krokotopia, but I think the theming is so good, that feudalist Japan vibe that's going on with like the shogunate and the samurais and the ninjas. I think it's cool, so I'm gonna put Mushu in A tier. Next up we got Dragonspire, guys. I am not a fan of Dragonspire, but I'm gonna put it in B tier. I'm not a fan. I think it drags on a lot. I think it's very repetitive. Obviously, it's the Arc 1 final world where you fight Malistaire, so that gives it a lot of credit. But I don't know. I think the gameplay is pretty boring, and the storyline it's pretty cool, but I think it's just too repetitive for me, and I don't like playing through it personally, so I'm gonna put it in B tier. So next up we got Grizzleheim and Wintertusk. I think this is gonna be the first S tier. I love the Nordic theme. I think the storyline is very cool, especially with Wintertusk, with the Frost Giant and, you know, the Great Sleep or whatever it is. But I think I have so much fun playing through Grizzleheim and Wintertusk. It's the themes are cool, all the bosses are cool, and I feel like every NPC you encounter in Grizzleheim and Wintertusk has a cool backstory. What you're doing in the world, quest by quest, always seems really important in my opinion. So I'm gonna put Grizzleheim as the first S tier world. So next up we got Wisteria. Honestly, I'm between a C or a D. I haven't played through Wisteria in a while. I'm gonna put it in C tier. It's really short, and I think the Spiral Cup storyline is okay. I don't know, guys. I don't like Wisteria. And I think the schools, the secondary schools are cool, but it just doesn't really make it doesn't seem that important to me. I don't know. I feel like there's no reason for a wizard to go there. You don't even get that much out of it. So I'm going to put Wisteria in C tier. So next up, we got Celestia, the first of the Arc 2 worlds. I'm going to go in B tier. I think the storyline of Celestia is very cool with the, you know, Atlantis vibe and all this new magic you're learning. You learn a lot. There's a lot of lore in Celestia, which I like. I like lore. And that's another reason why I like Grizzleheim so much. But Celestia, the gameplay I think is not great. I feel like it suffers from the same problems Dragonspire does. It feels like it drags on a lot, and it's not the easiest world. So I'm going to put Celestia in B. So I'm going to go ahead and rank Aquila now. I'm going to put it in C tier. I don't really like Aquila. I'm not going to lie. Mount Olympus is okay. You feel like you have to do it 50 times just to get the Zeus gear. Atlantia, I don't think Atlantia is fun at all. I've done it like once. And I think Tartarus is pretty cool. The dungeon itself can be fun, but for the most part, I think Aquila is, you know, it's not the greatest. And the rewards, aside from Mount Olympus at level 30, are not very good either. So I'm going to put Aquila in C tier. Next up, we got Zafaria. This may be controversial, but I love Zafaria. I think Zafaria is awesome. It is a little bit long and it can drag on a bit, but I think the theming of like the savannah and that African nature vibe I think is extremely cool, and I love playing through Zafaria. The bosses are cool. I think the storylines are awesome with each of the different parts of like the jungle. I think it lacks a little bit in like the final parts of it, right? I think Mirror Lake is a little bit of a letdown as a final dungeon, but aside from that, I love Zafaria. I just enjoy playing through it so much. I think the storylines are so cool, helping these like local tribes essentially throughout the world. So I think it's a very cool world. and it's going to be the next S tier. So next up we got Avalon. A lot of people like Avalon, but I don't know. I think Avalon is not that great. I think the storyline is okay. I feel like it's not very memorable though. I don't know. I think the final area with the castle is really cool. I don't know. Other than that, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Avalon. Maybe it's because the medieval theme doesn't interest me as much, but I don't remember Avalon being that fun. I know it's a lot of people's favorite, but personally, not a fan of Avalon. So I'm gonna put the catacombs at D tier. I did not enjoy playing through the catacombs at all. I'm not gonna lie. I think learning about the lore of Wizard City is pretty cool. I don't know. I just didn't enjoy the playthrough as much as I did the lore, and I think the playthrough is a huge portion of the world, right? Like if you don't enjoy playing through the world, then how can you possibly rank it that high? And I think stacking up the catacombs and like Aquila as well, like these dungeon worlds, I think pinning them against other more fleshed out worlds is unfair, but I don't know. I think the catacombs, I never look forward to playing through the catacombs for getting gear or anything, so I'm gonna put it in D tier. Next up we have Azteca. Azteca, I have a love-hate relationship with Azteca. I think it's a very neat world. I think the storyline is really cool, and playing through and going through the storyline is interesting, but man, it is long and drawn out. I'm gonna go B tier because the storyline and the bosses and the quests are actually very interesting. Some areas, they seem pointless, like why am I here? But the good areas, the highs are very high and the lows are very low with Azteca. It's a really drawn out world, so I can't put it any higher than B, but I think if it was more condensed, and I think if they reworked Azteca, it could be a lot better. I think the final dungeon of Azteca, Japalba, or whatever it's called, is amazing. I think it's super cool. I think Azteca deserves B tier. Next, we have Chrysalis. Chrysalis is another one of those long ones, but I think the storyline makes up for it a lot, and there are a lot of very cool areas in Chrysalis, and you really feel like your wizard is making an impact in Chrysalis. Some of these worlds, you're like, why am I here? Like, what am I even doing here? Chrysalis is very much not like that. You are immersed in the action and the fighting and what is going on in the storyline. You know, you really feel like you're making an impact in Chrysalis, and the final boss of Morganth is really fun, really cool. So Chrysalis, definitely, it's not quite an S tier. I think Chrysalis would be an S tier again if it was condensed, similar to Azteca. You just feel like you're there forever, which I don't think is good for any world, no matter how good the storyline is. But I think other than that, it is a great world, and it definitely deserves A tier. Next, we got Polaris, A or S tier. Polaris is one of my favorite worlds. It is immersive, it's fun, it's, you know, pretty easy, right? It's not too difficult. You're going from Chrysalis. Polaris, it's a good ease into Arc 3. I think the storyline is so cool with like the penguins and the revolution and everything, and the scenery of Polaris is so immersive. I really enjoy Polaris, so I'm gonna put it in S tier. So next up, we got Mirage. I liked Mirage. I thought it was really cool. Some of the areas in Mirage were very unique. Some of the desert areas were environments and scenery like they'd never done before in any of the other worlds, which I thought was very cool. I'm gonna put it in B tier. I don't think it's quite an A or an S tier. From what I remember, I did enjoy Mirage, and I didn't enjoy the storyline as much as I did like the scenery and the playthrough. I remember it being a little bit drawn out, but not too much. But I know like the Scorpion fight and that the Scorpion storyline is very cool, I remember. So I'm gonna put Mirage in B tier. Next up, we have Imperia. Guys, I don't know. I don't like Imperia. I think I see what they were trying to do with Imperia, but at the end of the day, I never really understood it as a world, right? I think the bat storyline is awesome, right? I love that. But other than that part, I don't know. I think I didn't really like the theming and the scenery and the playthrough of Imperia. It's also pretty long and drawn out, so I don't know. I don't know what it is with Imperia, but I think I would put it in C tier. I think a lot of people would disagree, and a lot of people like Imperia. It seems like people have a love-hate relationship with this world as well, but I don't know. don't remember having too much fun playing through Imperia. So next up we have Caramel. I'm gonna put it in B tier. I think Caramel is pretty fun. I think the whole, you know, German, Swiss, like candy vibe, like fantasy candy thing is pretty funny. I enjoy it. It feels jolly, but also it's very satirical world. I like it. I think it's neat. It's definitely a switch up from a lot of the other worlds, especially later in the game. And I like it. It's not too drawn out. It's not too tough either. I like it. B tier. So this Tale of Four Dungeons, I genuinely do not know what this is. I have been sitting here putting off ranking it because I don't know what it means, but I'm gonna put it in B tier. So Lemuria. So I don't remember. This world is very unique because there's a ton of different areas, and I think like assembling the team of the heroes is actually pretty fun. I like that part, but there are also some parts that I just don't enjoy. But I think as a whole, I don't know, I think the Hall of Heroes fight is pretty cool, like gathering your team and going to all these different worlds. I remember it being drawn out and a little bit difficult. I don't know, I'm gonna put Lemuria in A tier. I think the scenery was very cool, the different areas, and the storyline I liked, especially with the old one. I think it was hard to wrap your head around in the moment, but I think the storyline is pretty cool in my opinion. So lastly, we're gonna rank Novus. I honestly don't have much of a recollection of Novus. If you guys could let me know in the comments what this world even was. I've not played through Novus in a long time. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna go off what I remember now. I remember it being a bunch of different unique areas similar to Lemuria. I'm gonna put it in B tier just because I don't remember it being that bad, but I also don't remember it being that fun. So this is my ranking. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree. Anything controversial, let me know. And make sure to like and subscribe because I am posting frequent Wizard101 content. I will see you guys in the next one.